Talk with Tyson Bryden. Come on for the ride. We'll take you inside. Non-stop rock talk. It's non-stop rock talk with Tyson Bryden. Come on for the ride. We'll take you inside.
Welcome to Nonstop Rock Talk. I am your host, Tyson Bryden. Today, I'm very happy to welcome from the band Spread Eagle, singer Ray West and bassist Rob DeLuca. Welcome, guys. How are you guys doing?
Hey, Tyson. Thank you for having us.
It's good to be here with you, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's funny because it was over 6 years ago that you guys were the very first guests on my show.
Wow. That's great. You've been doing it for 6 years.
Yeah.
That's quite a chunk of time.
I don't know if you recall, but we did the interview. It was when Subway to the Stars had just come out. And we did the interview, and I had recorded it on my Zoom, which I'm still using today. But shortly after that, I got robbed. And they stole my Zoom, and we had to redo that. we had to redo the interview.
Yeah, I do remember this. And this was for Subway to the Stars, right?
Yeah.
I remember it.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
They stole everything. Like my Zoom, like 4 guitars and 200 vinyls, and like it was crazy.
Operation.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah, it was Labor Day weekend.
It's a personal assault.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
Yeah, no kidding, right? So, anyways, I'm like 200 plus episodes since then, I believe.
Nice.
So you guys were the first. So I thank you for that, which was you guys got me my start, more or less.
And we're the reason for your success.
That's right. That's right.
You're the reason for our success.
Well, I don't know about that, but
That's funny.
We're spreading the word always, right? So
Always.
You guys are Spread Eagle's about to release a brand new album on June 12th via Frontier Records entitled The Brutal Devine. Before we discuss the 2 singles and some of the other titles, tell me about the album artwork. That looks amazing.
It's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
That was done by Tristan Graytrix, who does all the UFO album covers and UFO art in general, and also the Subway to the Stars artwork. And he's just fantastic. He really is. And we figured it might be nice to go in have a cover that isn't expected, you know? I think it's unexpected, especially for a heavier album of, one of our heaviest or possibly our heaviest album. It's kind of cool to have that kind of artwork, I feel.
Yeah.
I had kept myself almost away from some of the process, so I wanted to be surprised. I was overwhelmed by it. I thought it looked really cool. I was like, I did the puppy dog. I was like, that's really cool. I didn't expect that. So it was a surprise, and to me, very refreshing. So
it's going to look awesome on vinyl, because this one is being released on vinyl.
Yeah, it is. And people are reacting really strong to the whole album, but the artwork, they love it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anyone say they didn't like it, I think sometimes in life, people expect something until you give them something unexpected that's really cool, and they're like, oh, we wanted that all along,
Yeah.
So sometimes people don't know what they want.
Yeah. So how does something like that come to you guys? Is it like, did he send it via like the computer, or it's not like the old days where you'd get a picture kind of thing?
Well, it is pictures.
Oh, it
together.
is.
It's not AI.
Oh, wow.
Art, as far as I know, it's not AI art, because him and I discussed the elements. The jellyfish, the woman. The woman is actually a composite of a lot of different women. He was turning her hands different ways, so it was a lot of conversations to get it to that point. So he's a true artist, and we're lucky to have him. We're lucky to be working with him.
Yeah. So did he do like those early UFO albums or stuff later on?
No, I don't know when he came in, but I'm going to guess I was there for 16 years, so I'm going to guess he's was in for 20, 25 years.
Okay. Because some of those old covers are amazing.
Yeah, like Hypnosis did the big ones, Hypnosis, who did all the Pink Floyd and the Led Zeppelin stuff, and so yeah, everyone in England who had the budget were using Hypnosis if they could in the 70s and 80s.
Yes. So UFO is done now, I believe, right? You're done with that?
I think so.
Yeah. Wow. That was a long run. That was a long time, man.
I was lucky. We played both rock piles in Toronto, and I was lucky to be a part of it.
Cool. Now, you produced this album, Rob.
Correct.
As the artist producing your own band, what was kind of your objective? Possibly there were things on previous albums that you wanted to maybe do differently, or possibly in talking with the band, of course, they're going to have input.
Absolutely.
Tell me about your thoughts on the production side of things and maybe what you focus most on capturing on this one.
Well, my first priority is the fact, since Ray and I have been doing this for 36 years, it's important that he's really happy with this also. Yeah. And Ray's very particular about his vocals, which is totally understood. We're all particular about our
He's putting it nicely.
Contributions. We're all particular about our contributions, and that's what makes it into this delicious soup, So I say that my number one priority is keeping Ray happy. And my number two priority is just to kind of steer the bus to where the fans want, because we're all so creative. We all have a lifetime of playing under our belts, and arranging under our belts. It could easily go in different directions and still be very good, but it could very easily get away from being spread eagle, because we have so many influences, and there's 4 very unique individual personalities. So the 2 things is just keeping Ray happy and in a genuine way, and keeping it sound like spread eagle, and 3 things, and getting closer to the initial sound of the band, of that punky, metallic, kind of gritty street metal thing that our fans have told us nonstop for years that's what they want the most. That's what they want the most. And so, when they're saying that, so literally 50 times a year for all these years, you realize it's true. That's what made Spread Eagle special, and that's what our fans want.
And also, there's a lot of trust given here, because we've known each other a long time. And a guy like me, I just don't have the bandwidth to produce vocals. If I had to produce my own vocals, we'd be there for 2 years. I would have changed the H and the and made it and twisted it around a million times over. So there's a lot of trust given to this process. And I see, Rob's gained a lot of wisdom and a lot of studio knowledge. And when he took, when he wanted to take the wheel, I was all for it. I couldn't, I heard myself saying, saying, go for it. And it's a matter of trust, and I trust him.
I remember after Subway to the Stars, Ray said it was the most pleasurable experience he's had making an album, which was really made me feel good, because if someone's comfortable in the studio, they're gonna be relaxed and perform, their best. So that's for the last album he said that. And I thought that was a really nice compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah, we work together well.
When doing a vocal, Ray, are you at the end of it, or you're like, you know what, can I do it again, kind of thing? Or is that what you kind of referring to?
I'm famous in a 1 foot radius for doing that. I will do the same thing over and over and over again, even if it's right. I never think it's done. I never think it's perfect. And it's a problem. I have to let things go sometimes, because I will perfect things into the ground, and that's not cool. So you never get done that way. At some point, you've got to let go and just be like, that's it. We're going to make it happen. Yeah. It's a hard lesson to learn. It comes, wisdom is a bitch.
So I guess that's where you have to step in. Right?
The process is crazy, because you got tracks all over the place, because obviously you haven't put it together yet, and you're just trying to say, okay, this part, try this part. Oh, we didn't really get that part. Jump back to that part. And it starts to get really confusing where, everything is. And So you have to just trust it. You know, you have to trust it. And then when we put it together, if we don't have everything, we get Ray back in. You know, Ray usually sings a lot, you know, goes away. We put it together and then we're like, okay, what do we still need? You know, and then when we get that together, then Ray's harmonies come in, you know, so there's a bunch of steps involved.
Then comes the back and forth notes.
And the notes.
That's where the chemistry just comes to life, man.
That's awesome.
But it's understood.
Why did you do
know?
that? Why did you do that?
Were you guys in the studio all together?
Yeah, I mean, at different times. Yeah, absolutely.
Was it done in New York?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Brooklyn.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't record like vocals at home and send them in.
Yeah.
You know, we like to be in the room together on premises. There's just something cool that happens like that. Again, if I was left to my own devices, it would never get done.
Also, it's a pro studio. You know, it's a vintage Neve console, Studio E in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. We call it Grammy-licious Studios. And, you know, it's where you want to make a record, you know, as opposed to bedroom recording, which is what everyone else is doing.
Well, I noticed a difference, especially guitar sounds. The vocals sound great. Guitar sounds are dead on. They cut so well. And then the drum tracks, even the drum track on Street Noise sounds like it would be an old recording drum sound, like almost like a punk type of drum sound.
That's what we're going for, you know, trying to get back to the egg. Did you get the advance of the whole album?
No, I've only heard the 2 singles.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
so this is a problem that we're finding with our interviews. I got to get you the Addy, the email address to get the press advance.
Okay, I went on Frontiers today because I get all the advances of everything to see if it was there, and it wasn't in there because they have a whole list of them right through their promotion.
That's a press portal.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah, which I was really surprised. So I had to double check. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is on Frontiers, but there was nothing there. The singles.
Same thing our last interviewer said.
Really? Eh? Huh.
Yeah, so we'll have to work on it to get it to you for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, I'm going to order the vinyl too. I mean, I want to hear that thing on. That's the way I listen to it. So.
Thank you.
It's really cool to have it this time, to have vinyl. People always ask for it. It's like the old school, new school way of listening to it.
Yep.
You know, it's a great souvenir, something that sits in your hand. It's substantial. So we're all very happy to have that.
I mean, it's that artwork too, right? It's the whole thing.
Yeah, it's an experience. And we didn't get that on the last release, which was disappointing. So it's nice to have it.
Yeah, I was hoping that they were going to do that last one on vinyl, but I mean,
well, for the 10-year anniversary of that release, we're going to release it on vinyl.
Cool. That's awesome. That's cool. That was a great album too.
It really is. It popped up on my Spotify the other day. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I listened to about 4 tracks, and it really is a well-written album and really, really cool. And, you know, no one sounds like us. You know, we're not reinventing the wheel as far as rock music goes, but in our corner of rock music, we really are unique, and our songs really say that. You know, it's cool.
Yeah.
We're happy to be here.
I don't know if you guys recall, but I had made a reference on that album to, what was the band now? Oh, to early Scorpions. There was one song on there. I don't know if you guys remember talking about that. And I said,
Little Serpentina?
Yeah, I think, that was it. Yeah. And I had made,
I remember.
Yeah.
That's a cool song. That's one of the ones that popped up the other day for me. And I was like, holy shit, man. No one else would write this song, you know?
It's a cool
It's just
song.
really just spread eagle, you know?
Yeah.
That's a great compliment, because I love especially early Scorpions.
Oh my God.
You know,
Klaus.
Yeah, because it was a different sound for them, right? There was more meat to it than that commercial sound, right?
It's Robot Man, songs like that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's what happens, Tyson. These mixers and producers get a hold of your music, and they you know, they make it into their vision, which is not like it's a bad vision. It's just not our vision, you know?
Yeah.
And we're getting back to just street sounding albums. And, so we don't want these overproduced, shiny, bright, ear hurting pieces of music.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys, I mean, these two albums of what I've heard from this album and the last one, it sounds like you guys compared to the first two albums, but there's differences. There's more evolution of the band and being able to do what you guys want to do probably than and bringing out your sound of what comes out of you guys with no outside people saying, you've got to do this. Oh no, that doesn't work. You guys get to be you.
Oh yeah, I think we've all evolved as people and creative types, and I think people can tell you a million things, but you got to sort of there's a voice that's in your head and in your soul, and it's about trusting yourself, and committing to others and doing this the way you guys want to do it, so you learn to listen to that after a while. I think this shows where we are now in our lives as musicians. You learn a lot as you go. You take everything that makes you who you are. You collect it along the way, and you're going to get a little better at it. That's how I feel. I feel like we've gotten better at the process.
Yeah. Now,
I feel Ray brings so much to this band, and in large quantities. But I think possibly the thing he brings the most to this band is a sense of style, like a real cool, not fake, just natural, born in Brooklyn street style. And that's great to hear on a recording. And you mentioned the other albums. The first album really was our vision. The second album, which I like, it had a lot of people talking in our ear. And this album absolutely is back to nobody talking in our ear. This is, I'm not saying anything bad or good I'm just telling you what happened on the albums. This album is definitely back to no one talking in our ear. But one thing that this album is different than the other three albums, this album is the one, this album is a band recorded fresh off the road doing hundreds of gigs. The first album we didn't do any gigs, even though we had, been gigging for years in different bands. We didn't do any gigs. We got signed and went right into the studio, canceled our gigs. Second album, and then we did some gigs, but the second album, we didn't really tour enough before the second album. We were in the studio for way too long. Third album, our guitarist Zeev, God bless him, he didn't really want to gig much. Yeah. Fourth album with Jommy, we had done hundreds of gigs. So it's very different in that one regard than the other three albums. Yeah. And I think that there's something intangible or maybe tangible there of a live band recording music.
You mentioned Jommy. I cannot wait to hear the whole album because what I've heard of his playing. So, oh my God.
There's a song called Shrunken Head that's gonna blow your mind as far as his playing. It's just he's so fresh. There's a pool of guitar players where he comes from that are incredibly talented. We just got lucky to get him. Yeah. He's hungry. He's also very cool and very reserved.
Yeah.
So it's very. He can be very mellow, and then when he's playing, a whole different machine. That whatever's in him just comes out through his playing. It's very cool to see.
Yeah. Because
he's also very generous with his time. Like,
oh really?
He and I did so much guitar pre-production on his arrangements. He gave me so much. Like, how about this? How about this? But I'm talking for like 2 weeks worth of us just like working, demoing nonstop days, like long days, 10, 12, 15-hour days. And he was just so generous with his time that this record really had a chance to be special in the guitar department because of that. And Zeev, who we loved and still love, he was the opposite. It was always on on the clock, you know, and I'm not going to sit here and bash him. I'm just saying really honestly about what's happened in our career. Steve is incredibly talented. So if he gives you 2-3 hours, you can get a lot, you know? So but Jommy is equally as talented. And if he gives you 10 hours, you know, it's amazing what we got. So I want to take this time to thank him for all the incredible pre-production he did. And it shows. Like that, not just in the soloing, those rhythm guitars are unreal. Those rhythm guitars, they just rip your ears off, but in a way that's pleasing, you know. And it's all vintage gear. It's all vintage gear.
He's all in. You know, like the rest of us, to do this, you got to be all in. This is not for the weak. You got to either be all in or that's it. There's no half measures in this thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's, you know, we don't sugarcoat it. It's a lot of work recording, you know, coming up with all this pre-production, being on the road. It's a lot of work. You got to really love it, you know. And like Ray said, you're either all in or you're out, you know. So, and the four of us are all in, and that's fine with me.
I mean, I love what you just mentioned. He used all vintage gear.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome.
Well, to be fair, mostly his solos are on a newer EVH Eddie Van Halen model guitar, but everything else is from the 80s.
That's amazing.
And it sounds like it.
Yeah.
You know, you get 80s gear and you record with. In today's world, you hear why all those records sounded so good back then.
Yeah, well, you can hear the difference in these songs that I've heard. You can hear that element of. It
kills me that you don't have the advance. As soon as we get off this interview, I'm writing them. Like,
okay, well, thank you.
That's a polite way. So I'm going to raise some hell for you. That's what that is.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I can't wait to hear it.
I think it's great that you appreciate and listen to music that way. You know, this is the people that get this really get it.
Yeah.
You know, it's guitar driven, raw rock and roll. Whether you call it street metal, hard rock, whatever it is, it's this raw, beautiful, authentic thing. And it's cool that you get it, you know, and Jommy is special. So I'm glad we got to talk about that.
He's very special. Yeah. We love hanging out with him. He's just such a cool guy. He's this cool Italian dude, you know?
That's awesome.
Funny.
He moved from Italy when he joined the band. He'd been planning on moving here for years. And when he got the audition and he got the gig, that was the final nail to get him in the final nail in his coffin.
Didn't you guys
final nail in his coffin.
You guys had put a call out, like a press thing out looking for a guitar player, I believe, a few years back when you were to go on tour, right?
We needed someone close.
Yeah.
Yeah, we needed someone close, and he lives.
People were sending in, you know, auditions of them covering tunes and stuff. So it was a lot of cool stuff to go through.
Oh, wow.
We got a lot of great players. I'll tell you that it was a difficult time going through everything, but once we got Jommy, kind of stood out.
Yeah. But was it his distinctive, like the way his style that you guys figured would work best for you, or was there one thing that stood out?
Well, first, you know, you hear somebody's playing, and then you meet them, and it just all goes together. Some cats walk in the room, and it's just easy.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no pretense. There's no ego, except for what we throw at them, which is a contributor. But,
no ego, except for ours.
Yeah, that's it. You know. No, but Jommy, he just fit. He was just, I hate to use that word. The guy was a perfect fit. That's bullshit. He had a great personality, very reserved, very cool, and he's just a tremendously gifted, detailed guitar player. Because as far as covering the old material, he covers it note for note and still manages to throw his flash in there. The new stuff shows his true style, which is great. I assume he will just blossom the more he continues to play, whatever we do.
Also, the old stuff, a lot of guys have come close, but Jommy's ear is really impeccable, and he picked out little things that other people didn't. And one thing I noticed about Jommy's style that I really liked is, you know, a lot of people are shredders, a lot of guys are shredders these days, but I think Jommy's melodic sensibilities in his soloing, you know, other than when he's doing old material and moving forward with improvising or songs that he's arranging, his melodic soloing is just so incredible. It mixed in with all the shred. It makes him very special. I think he's really destined to be recognized in the genre.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, melody in guitar is so important to be able to have that,
Yeah.
to be able to
You're
do
a guitar
that.
player, you know.
Yeah, to be able to do that is so important. I mean, there's a lot of guys that can shred, but to put those two things together is
Oh yeah, the most memorable solos are the ones you can sing.
that's right. I agree.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So that's a beautiful, that's the beauty of him. Like I said, there's some of these Sardinia, whether it's the water in Sardinia or something, just creates these melodic cats. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, I want to talk about Flat Earth Vultures because this is such a cool song. And the cool thing about it is that it starts off really modern sounding. And then it kind of takes this turn. And then as soon as Ray's voice hits, you're like, yeah, this is Spread Eagle. And then that mid section goes back to that, which is really cool. But the concept of the song, I'm kind of curious of that. I mean, I hear about flat earths and I have my flat earth people and whatever, but I'm kind of curious of what exactly your take on that was.
Well, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the song.
Yeah.
Ray and I, this seems unrelated, but it is. Ray and I are huge Deftones fans. We love all kinds of music and all styles. And one of the bands we really bond on is Deftones. And Stephen Carpenter is their guitar player and main songwriter. And so we're obviously huge Stephen Carpenter fans. Stephen Carpenter is a flat earth believer, whatever you call it. And we love him, but we disagree with that view of things. So that was the original thought of writing a song about it. But we made a video that, and the song is about whatever you want it to be. You know, we're not going to dictate and tell you what it's about. But we made a really funny video that could explain some of the elements of the album and the song, and I'll let Ray talk about that.
Well, it's more like, you have to have a sense of humor about all these things that are taking place. So I think when we make a video, the last thing we want to do is have four guys, mature rock and roll gentlemen, making.
Thank you, Ray. Mature. That's a nice way to put it.
Ducky, right? Making those duck lip faces, goofy, look at me, I'm so sexy to the camera when you're not. It's like, I don't want to see that. I'll turn that shit right off. I don't know how many videos I see where I see the guys pining for the camera like that. It doesn't work. And at some point, they got to have a sense of awareness about this. And it just doesn't work. So I think we should have a sense of humor in our videos. So that's why we take that concept and we'll dress it up into a lot of different things, like the clown in the forest. That to me
Tell what they stood for, right? Explain what they stood for.
Yeah, it's hard for me to put that into words.
I feel like it was like the rich oil barons stood for the greedy, and the clown stood for everyone who's being taken advantage of.
See, that's great. That's exactly it. Sometimes I'll have a hard time getting what I'm trying to say, so that's why Rob is my twin. But the point is, say with a sense of humor. With the clown being what it is, people are just so easily taken advantage of, but to have that in the video and just have Frankie Puledda, our video director, is really great with taking something that you would think it would be an obvious video and just going to the extreme left of it. And that's the beauty of the video. But it's hard for me to explain the concept of each character. We like to let people just discover things for themselves, but it's Rob playing the billionaire rich cowboy is hilarious when you think about the duality of that. Ricky being Ricky's the Amazon delivery food guy. He's everything. He's every man as well in this video. Jommy's just great. Jommy's very stylist. I can't really tell you any more than that. To me, it's a comical look at the concept of people that think in such a direct, flat way, and making fun of it, if you will.
I mean, that's a great answer because that's the way I feel about it.
I'm trying to tell you something that really makes sense because I could give you a lot of horse shit, going on it, and I can get corny.
Yeah.
But that's as simple as I can put it. You have to have a sense of humor about everything nowadays because we live in the upside down.
Oh, you're so right. Absolutely. Now, street noise. I mean, in that video, the New York footage, and is that kind of an homage to the city of New York? That, like that street noise. It states, "I love the street noise."
Gotta love the chaos of it. When you step off anywhere in the country and you get to the city, it is probably the loudest thing that can go into your ear. And it's all at once. There's the sirens. There's the people yelling at each other. It's a cacophony of sound. There's nothing like it. I've never been to Tokyo, but I heard it's just as loud. You know what I mean? But it's a snapshot of a life in the day. It's everything just into this little song. You know what I mean? When you put the headphones on, it's loud. It's got a lot of energy. It's a snapshot of being on the subway. The girl that comes from Ohio to the city to become rich and famous, to go on Broadway. The kid you see on the subway that's wearing lipstick and he's got a dress on, he's got a tie on. You know what I mean? It's what is it? So it's street noise. It's just putting it all together. The place has a level of volume and energy that you can't get in any other way. And we put that into the music. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I think Ray did a fantastic job on those lyrics. Yeah,
it's just, it's just like journaling. Yeah, you're just journaling your day, really, and just putting it on. That's how I write. Robbie and I write a lot, but we write very differently. I will journal a lot.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. I mean, some of the titles on the album. I looked at the title listing. I mean, Jail Rat, Forbidden Local Honey. Like, these are like, I'm excited to hear these songs because you see a title and you're like, okay, I wonder what that's going to be.
I give kudos to Rob. Robbie's become a very good songwriter.
Thank you.
Which is why I give him a lot of freedom. Yeah, because, when you see someone is very good at something, I'm not going to pull the card. I can do it. I'm smart in that. I'm going to jump on that. You know what I mean? Because it's a good concept. It's lyrical. It's melodic. He brings things Robbie's a hell of a thinker. He will almost overthink things sometimes. So when he does bring you something, it's like, he's put a lot of thought and time and effort into that, and his work is usually very clever and it's usually on point. So I am a big fan of Rob's songwriting and a lot of his song titles on this album.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think a band is a combination of everyone involved, so everyone brings something to the band that is very important. And, we all have our different strengths and so if we all bring what we're good at, it makes us unique. And I think that's happening with Spread Eagle.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, man. I feel like I'm the lucky guy that gets to hang out with these really talented musicians. That's all. Yeah, I'm a dancing monkey. You know what I mean? What do you call a singer? He's the guy that hangs out with musicians. That's me.
That's funny. Yeah, and then other titles. I mean, Scars in Our Eye, and then in brackets, City Kid, and Inside a Shrunken Head. Like, that's some pretty cool stuff, really.
Scars in Our Eyes, City Kids. That's actually a song that was written for Subway to the Stars, but it needed a stronger bridge, and it just wasn't blowing us away yet. So
you revamped it,
re-recorded it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, the phrase is nothing's supposed to leave the room unless we all think it's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's the best way to do that.
That's awesome. Now, you guys are embarking on some U.S. dates. There's an album release party and then a tour of Europe. Possibly you can kind of elaborate on that. And your schedule looks pretty busy.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the dates. I'm trying to minimize this window.
Well, we're trying to do our best, too, to be like, a really good live act for people to come see.
Yeah.
To do that, we got to play as much as possible. So we will play just about everywhere and anywhere to get this band fired up. I think we got dates in June coming up, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. We have USA through the summer. That's still filling up. Then we go over to Europe and we have Slovakia, Austria, probably Italy, France, Switzerland, Germany, Poland, Finland, Sweden, England, Scotland, and Wales.
Wow.
So yeah, we're hitting it,
Yeah.
and that's again, that's the sound. You know, the Brutal Devine is the sound of a live band, a band on the road, out there playing often. You know,
Yeah.
every week, hopefully every night, hopefully, and it's a different thing to capture than a band who are just kind of sitting on the corner of their bed writing songs and recording into their laptop. It's a whole different animal. And that's what we want. We want that live energy to translate. We want to be that band that people want to see live and know that we never use backing tracks or anything silly like
That's
that.
awesome.
That's just stupid, you know.
And we're still putting in the work, you know, because of the type of band that we are, and because of our history, and taking those years off, we to get back into the mix and get into people's consciousness it's tricky. It's a lot of work. You got to grind and grind and grind. So we play a lot of places, and the reason for playing live is we play to a lot of people that have never seen the band before. Sometimes they've never heard of the band before, but they're in the room, and to get their attention, you got to do something.
Yeah.
So we feel like we're getting better as a live unit and capturing people and keeping them locked in with us. That's important.
I mean, I think 3 or 4 years ago, I was in New York. I was in Long Island. My son was playing baseball in Long Island, and I was going to try and make it into the city. It just didn't work out. I was like, I think I probably would have had to take the subway of some sort from Long Island, and I was like a little skeptical. I was like, I don't know where I'm going. I should have been a little bit more, I should have tried a little bit harder.
In the city, people will help you get where you got to get. This is like, New Yorkers aren't, some are rude, but most want to give people directions and help you out. Some people will take you where you got to go. Why don't you give them $5?
Yeah.
Or something like that. But it's a very, I think it's a very, very brotherly place. People are afraid of it. It's bullshit. It's a great place.
Agree. People
if you're lost, someone will help you.
Very helpful in New York City by nature.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very helpful people.
And my experience there has always been good. I think it was more my subconscious where I'm like, oh man, what if that, it was just, I mean, being Canadian and in a different place and going on the subway by myself at night, I was like, oh, I don't know. But
I hear you. I hear you.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm usually not like that, but
I tell this story every couple of years. When I first moved here, I grew up in Delaware and moved up to Boston and met Paul DiBartolo and Tommy Gallo, and then moved to New York City to form Spread Eagle. And Ray grew up in Brooklyn. So when I moved to New York City, I didn't know Ray that well. It was just like, the first month or so that we had met.
Yeah.
We went out one night and we were on the subway, and there's a lot of transfers and stuff. And I was coming from Boston, where the subway is very simple and small. And Ray's like, no, we go here and we transfer here. We do this. We walk through this tunnel. We go here. And I looked up to him like so much, like this dude's amazing. He knows all this stuff, I was really impressed.
Yeah.
I really was. I'll always remember that. It was the first night we hung out, Ray and I. Wasn't the first night, we were ever together. It was the first night, like, we went out for beers. And, he's taking me all over. We're going to these different clubs, and he knew. And when we got to the clubs, he knew all the bartenders and all the people there. Everyone wanted to talk to Ray, So it was cool. It was cool.
It's that kind of town, man.
Yeah.
If New York takes you into its arms, there's nothing like it. And part of being a New Yorker is you got to know directions.
Yeah.
It's just part of that.
Yeah. I mean, I've been there a few times and spent a week there and used the subway for everywhere I went, and it was awesome. It was just that one.
Once you get it, it's easy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, Toronto has a subway, but it's not like New York. Like, you guys have layers upon layers of subways. Ours are not like that, right?
Right. And we watch it change over the years. It used to be graffiti and a lot of homeless people sitting on the trains. Now they're much cleaner. It's just weird. It's weird now.
That's amazing. Now, I want to talk about the first two albums, because as a vinyl collector myself, I see the first album come up on sellers, like selling used copies of it all the time. Like, and it goes for a pretty good buck. Now, was that second album ever done on vinyl? even in Europe or anything?
I don't think it was.
No, it wasn't.
I don't think it was, man. And I've been asked that before, and I'm pretty sure I'm being educated on that answer. I don't think it ever was.
Yeah.
No. Which is a shame.
Yeah.
You know, that there's a lot to do with that record and the history behind it, the timing of it, everything, you know, and it's a shame that, well, I dig the fact that our listeners are rediscovering the early stuff.
Yeah.
And that's a good feeling too. But you know, there's some good stuff on that album.
That's a great album.
Yeah.
The
Dogs, Rhythm Machine, Devil's Road.
Yeah.
So having it, you know, on not be on vinyl is a bit of a drag. It's a regret.
Yeah. It was such a weird time when that album came out. I remember when it came out and thinking like there were so many at that time of bands. It was what, 92? Was it around there?
Yes.
91,
Yeah.
92? It's just like albums would come out.
92, 93 probably.
Yeah, and albums would come out and then you'd never, like even up, like especially up here, you'd see it in like Metal Edge or an advertisement and then nothing. It was so bizarre.
Yeah, there was a black hole for a while. Business where a lot of good records, a lot of good bands just went into, they were never heard from again.
Yeah.
You know?
And I didn't discover it till later.
Yeah, luckily there's some people that do their research and they care to look back and discover things. You know, it's like when you go back and you re-listen to like Beatles song you never heard before, you find a song you never heard before. It's like, oh man, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting time. You know, the world changed, the music changed, the atmosphere changed. But in the end, you know, everything comes around. It's cyclical.
Yeah.
You know, and I think even though rock and roll I consider to be underground now, is it's still there making its way. You know, so we still got to champion it. We got to pass it down to the younger generation. They got to champion it and get behind it. So that's the goal here.
Yeah. To
get out there and get this message out to the younger generation and have them keep spreading the word, so to speak.
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes it's frustrating because you hear these great albums that come out now and it's just like it just doesn't get attention like it should. You know, like for great music. You know, back in the day, I guess because there was record companies pushing this stuff, and you would hear great albums, but now it's a little bit tougher, I think.
Oh yeah, the attention span is very short. Now tunes and videos are even marketed to the shortest attention span possible. Yeah. How long is a TikTok click? Like 6 or 7 seconds or something, you know what I mean? I mean, the next evolution will be we all take a pill. You know, that's you know, have you heard the new spread eagle thing? It's delicious. You know, there's gonna be different ways to listen to music and see bands. You know, but it's hard to capture people's attention nowadays. It's very hard, and that's the trick. Who can capture the attention, the most of it, the fastest?
You have to love what you're doing and the art that you're creating.
You have to love it. You got to sacrifice everything for it. Me and Rob are not, you know, living in mansions. You know, this isn't for the weak, man. If you love something so much, you're going to suffer.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. You suffer for your art, for your craft. And as harsh as that sounds, that's the truth. So when kids ask me, no, my son's in a band, I'm like, well, have fun. You know?
I mean, the plan is that you don't suffer forever.
Right. But
that hasn't happened yet. But we're you know,
we've had some nice grace. Yeah, we've been given some grace, luckily. You know, but you have to fight for that. And you have to get to that grace point, you've got to suffer a little bit. You got to go through the gauntlet to get to the nice place where you can breathe a little bit. So I'm glad to say things are a little better for us now.
Well, I ran into a kid the other day, probably 20 years old. He's got a band. And I said to him, oh, cool. I was like, what's it sound like? He goes, well, my major influence is Guns N' Roses. He goes, I just did this album. And I was like, okay. I was like, what is it? I'll pull it up. Is it on streaming? So I pulled it up and sure enough, I was like, this is great, man. And I said to the kid, I was like, I'm going to have you on my show. Like, I want to help you get some kind of promotion on this because it's hard enough for, you know, to get, especially for a young kid who's up and coming.
What's the name of the band? Give them a plug.
It is, you know what? I it's I don't even remember the name of the band, Rob.
It's hard to remember. There's so many bands.
You know what?
That's,
It's-
that, and
it's
that,
Have it.
that's
Rob.
you're showing you're illustrating the problem.
That's right.
Even good music, it's hard to remember because there's so much coming
I know.
out.
It's Angels of Our Nation is the name of the band.
Angels of Our Nation from Toronto,
From
Toronto?
Peterborough. From Peterborough.
I like that.
Yeah.
Like Rob said, there's just so many. It's saturated.
Yeah.
Everybody has a laptop. Everybody can. The average kid can just go and put in some software, record an album, call it an album, make a video on his iPhone,
I know.
go to school the next day, tell his friends he's going to drop his new album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And do a concert in the warehouse, or they have a house party. You know, there's so many different ways. You know, it's like we need you, because it takes the supporters of a band to make the band break nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, besides just marketing and the
Hey,
social.
there's someone robbing you.
That's my wife. Are you robbing
Oh.
me?
That's all the
She
time.
laughed.
No, but it all works together. You know, a band gets nowhere unless the people that support the band get behind it and do the work as well.
Yeah, we need an army behind us. We're working nonstop, the four of us, and with a couple friends helping and wives and things like that. But we need an army.
Yeah.
And I still think this whole thing matters. I still think the live show and entertainment and rock and roll, the culture still matters. I think we need that as people, you know. So
Agree.
that's what I fight for.
Yeah.
That's what we all fight for.
In this fake world, you know, things that are real, it's important we keep them around and we celebrate
I
them.
love that you guys are doing it and keeping that real. Like, I mean, you were just talking about, you know, people doing stuff on their computer in their basement. And then you guys go into a studio and you're, you know, like vintage gear and trying to keep it. But guys like me, I can tell, you can automatically tell the difference when something.
Yeah, you don't want to, it dilutes it a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
So when you get something that's really like, you know, has a lot of substance to it, and they took the time to work on this and that, you can tell the difference.
Totally.
You know, the trick is there's so much of the other stuff out there. Some tell the difference or some don't care to tell the difference. So that's why it's important that we make music this way. I remember like when the Foo Fighters were doing a documentary series on different studios in the country.
That was cool.
And it was so special. Man, that's what it's about. Now keep that kind of thing alive. That's very important that things like that are done.
I've seen some articles lately. I don't know. I didn't delve into them and read them and look at the sources or anything, but I've seen some articles saying that kids are getting tired of AI music already. So hopefully that's true. Hopefully that's true.
Right. Because you know the younger generation, they're not stupid.
No.
You know, they're fed so many things. You know, they're gonna work their way through it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a site called Suno, I believe it is, and I use it, but we use it as a joke. Like if someone says something funny, I'll write a song on Suno about it and punch in the words, and then it'll pop out this song, and we'll laugh about it. We're not,
That's great. But yeah, that's cool. That's for what it is. That's funny.
right?
Right.
Exactly.
So there's a purpose for everything, but like, you know, in the scheme of things, you know, our rock and roll culture does matter, and that culture is authenticity.
Yes.
Yeah, and also, why would you want to claim you're an artist or try to be an artist for, you know, 36 years we've been together, then all of a sudden hand it over to a machine that's taking from all these other people? It's taking away the artistry from the individual or the individuals or the band, you know.
Yeah.
Like we worked our whole lives for people to hear our art, and now we're going to hand it over, you know, effortlessly hand it over. It's just strange. It's strange.
It is. And I mean, you guys recorded music in a time when you still used tape.
Last century, my son. Last century.
When we did that back in the day, guys were specials with cutting tape.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
like that was specialized stuff, man. It was cool. Big old 2-inch reels and all that.
But it was cool.
There were people that was their specialty.
Yeah.
Cutting. They're great at cutting tape.
Yeah.
I think
With Sangrides,
Yeah,
Sangrides, who did a bunch of early Priest albums, I think, and he did a UFO album. He was a tape op, meaning a tape operator.
Yeah.
So that was especially dealing with 2-inch tapes and cutting them. And
Wow.
you know.
And nowadays,
Oh, sorry.
with the laptop and software, he's a producer.
Yeah, I know. And it's such a different thing. Now, were those first 2 albums recorded on tape? Were both of them done on tape?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
2-inch tape.
And that's why it's a shame that that second album's not on vinyl, because it should be. That's the way it should be heard, right?
Hopefully at some point.
You're going to get me triggered, man.
Sorry, Ray. You're going to get me
Like,
triggered.
I'm upset about that all day. God.
Well, it's a long game, and we're still in the game, so anything can happen with past
they
music.
never.
Do you have the rights to those albums?
No,
No way.
Universal.
But you did reissue the one on CD at one time, the first album, right? So
Yeah.
you just got the
I
license.
did that on November. But to do that, you have to buy copies from the parent company, Universal, and resell them.
Yeah, from the corporate gods.
Yeah. Which kind of sucks.
It's triggering. I'm telling you.
I'm sorry. I don't want to trigger
back when
you
it
now.
was. No, it was back when it was that concept of buying and selling records to reissue it was reasonably priced, but now it's very expensive to do things like that.
Yeah, and I've heard stories of companies that are getting the licensing and putting these out on vinyl, and they're not doing anything with them. They're not remastering them. They're just putting them right on vinyl and releasing them to people, like to the public.
Well, I would guess there's people who think that's a good thing, and I would guess there's people like you who think it's not a good thing. I mean, some people might want it to sound exactly like the original.
But let's real quick, as far as listening, I like things. I like to put on the headphones, have things really nice, great fidelity.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of we live in this culture of people listening on their phones. It's the weirdest thing, man. Like, I find that I can't listen to anything. I can't listen to any music off the phone. I just can't do it.
So harsh.
It's harsh.
But it's great to listen to music in such an intense way that you appreciate audio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah, and I mean, everything's, compressed and squished down. And I mean, even CDs were squished down to some extent. I mean, drums did not sound the same on CD.
Right. When you mix down nowadays, it used to be you mix down to a boombox. Remember?
Yeah.
And the last thing that you'll do in the studio is put it on the phone to hear how it sounds like.
I still do that, right?
Yeah, and you have to, because that's how people do listen to music. A lot of young folk listen to music that way.
So you mentioned the reissue of our debut.
Yeah.
That was remastered for the reissue. I think it was 2016 it came out.
Yeah, I believe
or something like
I
that.
ordered it. I bought a copy of it. It sounded great.
Yeah, that's a remastered version of the album.
Yeah, I think I had an original CD and I got the remastered, and then I got rid of the original one because it was remastered because it sounded so good.
But again, some people might like the original better, but it's taste.
Yeah, it's all a
I
matter.
think they both sound pretty good.
Yeah, and there's certain albums now that I'm finding that they're putting on streaming that they're putting as remastered, and they've bumped up the bass, like it's bumped up so much that it almost distorts.
Oh yeah, everyone's making it loud, louder. When we were lucky enough to have Howie Weinberg master all 4 of our albums, and I always tell him, not too modern, not too loud, not too brick walled, just make it sound natural.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they love to bump up the bass. Like the bass goes so high.
I'm not sure. It's the vibe I got from Howie is he enjoys when someone tells them that they don't want it ultra modern, and they want it natural and breathing, because I don't think he gets a lot of that.
Really, eh? Wow, that's crazy.
That was my impression. I can't speak for him, but that was my impression.
Yeah.
Get a lot of bass low end for you pop it in your low rider. You know what I mean? That's what it's for.
Well, I mean, but the 70s albums were bassy, but it wasn't like that. It was like natural. It was a natural feel of what the album sounded like, right? It wasn't like they're bumping up this bass and the bass drum sounds huge, and the drums it just doesn't sound good to the ears, right?
Drums got very loud in modern mixing, very loud drums.
Yeah, I don't know what the reasoning is behind that evolution of that, but I think you're right.
Yeah,
I don't mind loud drums.
No, I don't either.
As long as the guitars are a little louder, just a little bit louder, then I'm fine with it.
How about your bass sound?
What about it?
Like in recording wise, like where do you like to put it in the mix?
I like it soft. I don't want to be like, you know, me. Yeah. I want the bass to sit where it should, just complement the guitar and tucked underneath it.
Yeah, because there's a smoothness, right?
He's being very humble.
It's the bass should support the guitar, and in Spread Eagle, a lot of times we're doing similar riffs, not all the time, but I don't want it to overpower the guitar. I think you get the aggression from the guitar and the subliminal size from the bass being tucked in the right spot. It just makes the guitar that much bigger. So, I mean, we're a guitar rock band, you know.
I think what Rob's telling me just that Rob is being humble. Rob has a really good sense of tonality, but his bass, you can feel it as you would hear it. You know, you feel Rob. When Rob drops out of anything, everything's gone. His bass sound is very special, and he's worked very hard on it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're all perfecting our craft over 36 years, and we're never done. Jommy and I shared an article the other day about Guns N' Roses. You know, Duff's main concern is not losing the groove, not making sure his mix is compatible to still staying in the pocket, and not letting his energy or adrenaline push him out of the pocket. And it's a lifelong struggle or challenge or journey to just play in the pocket, and it's never gets easy.
Also, the attack you have is just something about it. It's just really ease of it. There's an ease of attack that he has. It's really cool.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, I remember seeing you with Sebastian when you guys opened when you came to Toronto. I believe opening for Guns at the ACC, and your bass tone was amazing.
Thanks.
It sounded really good.
Dave Hart was mixing that, and he mixed Spread Eagle on the Monsters of Rock cruise last week, or maybe 10 days ago or so. And he's one of the best, Dave Hart. He's just such a great sound man. But yeah, that bass it's stock pickups, 1966 precision. Wow. It's been bastardized, but what you're hearing is just what the way it sounded when it came off the assembly line in 1966.
That's crazy. That's
part of the big lie. Everyone's got this new gear, and you know, but it's basses. They had them right for a long time now. You know, 60 years they had it right.
Yeah. Do you guys use in-ears?
I do.
I have in the past.
But because Rob sings, he's the main. Other than me, Rob is the main vocalist in the band. So I've always encouraged Rob to go back to in-ears. He hasn't yet. I don't know why, but
the reason why is because we're carrying so much gear and things get lost, and it's like, you know, we're very DIY, this organization. You know, It's not like open up for GNR. You know, at I think we might even done 2 nights there in Toronto.
I think you did. That was a long time ago. I just remember going really late and calling in sick the next day for work.
Maybe it was 1, but it could have been 2. So, you know, like that's a different story to what's going on now. We're lugging all this gear and stuff, and you know, and it's like it's extra time to get the in-ears all dialed in, you know, and it's more things, and I just don't want to deal with it right now. But at some point, yeah, I'll bring them back. I have a really nice set.
Yeah,
that's how time crunch we get on the road. That's how fast everything is. It's like you get there, you're just in time to sound check. If you're lucky, right? Sound check. You find something to eat. You close your eyes for 5 minutes. Boom, you're playing.
Yeah.
And then wash, rinse, repeat. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of in-ears. I use them religiously.
It's probably better for your voice, to save your voice so you're not fighting, right?
And also, mainly for the dynamics. I can do things a little more. I can hear where to go in places and how much energy to put into something. Where when you don't have them, you're usually singing very loud. Without enemies, you're blasting, you're blowing out a lot of air, creating a lot of tension, and you can't do the work that you want to do really. So having in ears let you get all the detail and dynamics out. That's how I feel about it.
It's cool. Well, guys, I want to thank you for joining me today. It's been a pleasure. It was a great conversation. Is there anything else you guys would like to add before I let you go?
Yes. Check out our video for Flat Earth Vultures. It was just released 2-3 weeks ago. It's really, really entertaining. And check out our tour dates, spreadeagle.us. We're playing everywhere that we can. And we want to make it up to Toronto as soon as
That'd be
possible.
awesome.
Also, we're very accessible. So if you see the band, come up and say hi. There's no kind of wall. We're just very easy to find. So don't be shy about that.
Okay. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. And
Thank you.
hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for this very cool. I thought it was going to be a quick sit down. This was awesome.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, guys. Have a good night. Okay.
All right, man.
Bye.